You can get better cash flow from a 2 cap property than a 10 cap, depending on, here's the big thing, the business plan.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another best ever short video with the host of the best real estate investing advice ever show, Joe Fairless. And the next question I want to ask you in our series of videos that we're shooting today, you've recently talked about, and I think wrote a blog, or it was a Follow Along Friday episode with Theo, on why cap rates don't matter to you as much as other factors when you're evaluating a potential deal. So even though that's out there already, I just wanted to do a short video of why it is that cap rates don't matter as much when you're looking at a deal.
Well, if you buy a property that is a 2 cap, the question becomes, can that be as profitable or more profitable than a property that you buy originally at a 10 cap? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. You can get better cash flow from a 2 cap property than a 10 cap, depending on, here's the big thing, the business plan. The business plan is the most important variable, the most important question with any property, because the business plan is going to show you what you can do to affect the NOI, the net operating income. For example, I have a investor who also invests with a group in Manhattan, New York City. That group buys 2 cap properties for rent stabilized apartment buildings, they buy rent stabilized apartment buildings, and they have a way to limit the amount of corruption's not the right word, but limit the holes in the system where the rent stabilized tenants would previously pass on their lease to other people but claim that they still live there. Then instead they give them electronic key cards or something, so that once they're done living there, then they can, the rent is increased.
Right.
So they basically patch the holes in the system. They have other ways of adding value, but by doing that, because that is so prevalent, passing their leases on to other people, because it's so prevalent, they're able to add value in these apartment communities and get better or as good cash on cash returns as someone who buys a 10 cap in Stillwater, Oklahoma, or somewhere like that. Well, that is just as, actually that's a better business plan, that's a better business model, because once you add that cash flow, then you can go sell it to someone who might just be looking to buy a 2 cap and sit on it and buy for appreciation. I would never do that,
right.
But there are people out there who do that. So you could do that, especially in New York City. So ultimately, I have investors who ask me, what's the cap rate that you're buying at? That's a relevant question, but it is not the most important question. The most important question is, tell me about the business plan. Have you done this business plan before? At the property that you're buying, has the seller proven the business plan? That's not necessary, but it's nice if the seller's proven that they can get the rent increase, because not only has the business plan been proven from a market standpoint, but from a property specific standpoint, it's been proven. Not necessary, but even better. And who's the team that you have in place? Have they implemented something like that before? Do you have some case studies? When you have a proven team with a proven business plan, that's where the money is made. Certainly on a cap rate, you want to buy competitively, or even better, you want to buy favorably to you. But if you have a business plan to execute, then a value add play, you can buy a 2 cap and you can make it cash flow and make more money than you would a 10 cap. And that's the key part of it, is the business plan.
So someone such as yourself, where the business plan is the important part, you still underwrite the deals and do your due diligence. What are you looking at to see, what metrics do you look at to measure your business plan to see if this business plan will work for your properties?
And one thing I should have mentioned, and then I'll answer your question directly, is the cap rates that we project on the exit are higher than when we buy. So we're conservatively projecting that the market will be worse when we sell than when we buy. And that's an important part of it. You don't want to project that the cap rate that you're going in at will be the same when you exit. Otherwise, that's a fairly aggressive projection. You certainly don't want to project that the cap rate that you go in at will be lower when you exit. As far as the things we look for a business plan, we look, well, first we got to know the market. If we know the market, then we'll know what rent can the apartment community command and who will its competition be. Because the primary way we add value through our business plan is interior renovations of the units. So if we can rent the unit, if we can renovate the interior of the unit, increase the rent, say $100, spend $5,000-$6,000 a unit to do so, then we've got a pretty good return. And then we'll implement some of our efficiencies across the operations, since at this point we have scale and we have 3,400 units, have 890 under contract right now. So we've got the scale in the area, but for anyone who's looking to do deals, it's just a matter of looking at the area, know what rents can be commanded, know the comps, and then see what type of rents that you have in place at your apartment community or the one that you're looking at. And then identify how much would it cost to get the rents from where they're at the apartment community you're looking at to your competitive set. And then what would that rent increase be? And then you know how much does it cost per unit to get there? What would that rent increase be? Plug that into your financial model and you're off and running.
So that's the market, and within the market, the rents are your main things that you're looking at?
Primarily.
Okay. Good to know. I actually don't have any follow-up questions for that. So to everyone watching, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're watching from YouTube. And for more tips every week in your email inbox, bestevernewsletter.com, you can sign up for our newsletter.